number one, Merry Christmas. Benji's in the back here. Hey, Benji. All right, Benji says hi. So, I will never not work from home again. I know companies, and I was just listening to Gary Vee on his podcast, and whoever his guest was, some famous executive, saying that, everybody's coming back to the office. And that's great if you have a team that really just all lives in San Francisco around your office. Since really, even before the pandemic started, my hiring kind of philosophy has been to go national. Has not been limited to a region. And it's fully work from home. So when I hire great talent, I don't make them relocate. They're fine to work from home. Yes, a couple times a year we're traveling and going on an on-site together or an off-site together. They're coming into the office for a meeting or something, to one of our hub offices. But for the most part, we're all working from home. We'll just have these couple days of intensive, concentrated workshop together during an off-site. But other than that, we're fully work from home. Benji, come on, man. Benji, stop getting in trouble. Back. Get back, Benji. All right. He's gonna get in trouble while we're recording this. All right. Thanks for letting me yell at the dog during this. All right. Anyway, let me see if I can convince him to go back. You're supposed to ride in the back, dog. Back. All right. So, as far as working from home, I believe that most people want to work from home now. I've seen it on LinkedIn polls. Most people want to work from home. People will consider hybrid, where you're working from home 3 days, coming in 2 days. But it's a slim minority that want to come to the office anymore. And right now we're in a kind of world where that's possible. People are very successful, doing a great job working from home right now, and not going into the office. Still dedicating all their time. I know I do it. From 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. pretty much I'm in front of Zoom every day. And a lot of times earlier and later than that. But it's just who we are now. So if somebody insists, and when I'm hearing on these podcasts, people talking about, oh, well, in order for the team to collaborate, we have to come to the office. I collaborate with my team all day long. We're constantly talking. We're in teams together. We're having meetings together. We're having kind of working sessions where we'll share a doc and everybody works through it. We do a ton of stuff together. I don't think going to the office would improve that. And, I really don't see an advantage anymore to going in. Yeah, it's cool to be able to kind of hang out in somebody's doorway, but I think that actually hurts productivity, because I remember there's a couple employees that we have that when we were full office, employees used to just linger in the doorway and basically go down the hall and chat with everybody for 15 minutes and get nothing done all day. And in the meantime, distract everybody else's flow. I'm able to do more at home than ever before. And I think a lot of people are like that. I think that's just how we've evolved, how we work now. So when I'm hearing people insist, or Elon Musk, when he just, with the Twitter fiasco here, he was insisting that everybody go back, stop working from home, everybody go back to the office, and he basically did an ultimatum and is making everybody come back. Your labor force has a choice now, and it's heavily weighted towards us being able to work from home. So smart companies are adapting to that, and the smart talent is going that direction. So I think you're going to be, kind of in trouble if you're insisting on that as a company. Now, as far as myself, I am fine with traveling even 75% of the time. I'm okay with traveling every other week, traveling every week, whatever, a couple of days a week, I am good with, I'm good with jumping on a plane and traveling all week long and then being home on the weekends. Like, really, I'm okay with any of that. I'm a little bit different than most people. I could travel basically 100% of the time for work and be okay. So it's not a that I have to be at home thing. It's that I don't want to be in the office thing. I feel like I'm more creative and more productive not being in in an office stuff full of people. But I'm great, like sending me on site to advise with clients on developing a security program, workshopping and doing security awareness stuff, speaking at engagements, speaking about resilience. I love traveling and doing that, but so it's not a I can't leave the house situation. I'm absolutely fine with leaving the house. It's just I don't want to work as a commuter to the office anymore. It's just not who I am anymore. And I think it's unrealistic for any company to think that people are going to want to be like that, considering the results of the LinkedIn polls and what I see. Even other fields, let's say HR. I went on LinkedIn the other day and said, okay, I'm looking for HR, more than $80,000 a year, can work from home, fully remote, no need to relocate or anything, mid-career, and it came up with like 20,000 different matches. Of course, those aren't completely accurate, so in reality it might be 2,000 matches, but for somebody in HR. Now, I'm not in HR, but that's just a sample job. Now, for me, there's, similarly, there's probably 20,000 roles that I could jump into remotely and make, West Coast money working from home. So that is something that I think the workforce needs to consider, the companies need to consider when hiring. To me, a couple things don't make sense. Regional variance in pay doesn't make sense anymore. Why would you pay someone who lives in New York City or in Houston or in LA or in San Francisco? Why would you pay people who live in cities, in certain high price cities, Miami, more than you would pay somebody in another city right now? Why? You can hire people anywhere. You can hire somebody to work on your project that lives in Tulsa, in Cincinnati, in places that are in the Midwest, and you can. I'm in rural Pennsylvania. Like, you can hire people that live in these areas and are able to excel at your organization. So why would you be held for ransom by regional pay scales? I would never pay somebody more because they live in LA. That's a personal choice. I don't care that your cost of living is twice mine. That's your problem. To me, I want to pay the same wage no matter what. So when I've done job ads, I put the salary right on the ad. I'll say this is a $100,000 job or a $120,000 job or whatever, right on the ad. If you choose to pay to apply for it, you're reading that. You're seeing what the ad is. That to me, that's waste. That saves me from a lot of wasted time. It's okay, regardless of where in the country you are. If you're meeting these qualifications, you're generally worth this much money. Yes, you may be an outstanding human and have a lot of things going for you, and there may be mitigating factors where we can negotiate higher. You know, but in general, there's, you know, no reason for me to hire somebody who may be even potentially less skilled in New York City than there is for me to hire somebody, in rural, Western Maryland. Like, it doesn't make sense. I'm going to pay what the skills are worth, not where somebody lives. So I think that as organizations, as this evolves, I think those regional differences in pay are going to go away. It just has to. If people are working fully remote, why would there be a regional variance? I've had people when I live in this city, there's no way I can live on it. Then don't take the job. Like, you choose to live in that city and it costs you, your rent is $5,000 a month. It's not my fault you live there. You can live in rural Pennsylvania with a rent of $500 a month. It's like, there's a lot of differences. So anyway, so I have some kind of polarized thought about this, but as for myself, I will never take a full office job again, and I'll never relocate for one. Yes, I plan on, I think it would be nice to have a different house and relocate at some point anyway, but I'm not going to do it for a job. To me, and especially moving to San Francisco or LA or something like that, I'd be glad to work for a San Francisco organization or an LA organization, but I am not moving. I'll fly out every other week, but this is where I live. So being online, there's absolutely no reason any white-collared worker should ever have to go in the office again. I can't think of one. I really can't. Companies seem to want everybody in the butts and seats in the office just so they can have somebody to look at, so they can justify having their office space still. I think it ruins people's morale sometimes. It makes childcare harder. You're having to deal with commutes. You're having to deal with, more distractions and flow, more water cooler politics, things that really don't matter when you're working from home. It adds a lot to your plate. Where a lot of people that have been working from home for the last couple of years since the pandemic started have only been putting like 3,000 miles on their car a year. Now, I'm not, because I'm driving all over the place for conferences and meetings and stuff like that. And so I'm putting tons of miles on. But there are a lot of people that are, really have embraced the work from home thing, have groceries delivered, go out occasionally to a restaurant or go shopping or whatever. But for the most part, they're home. They don't have to travel. So, to me, there's no reason to not embrace that lifestyle. So I've heard so many people, and talk about it. I was at a event a few weeks ago at a conference, and a lady said, well, our economy is never going to recover if we don't make people come back to the office. And I said, why? And they said, well, because of all the real estate that we're going to have to let go that we're not using. The real estate, collapse is going to ruin our economy because people are working from home. So going back in the office is tantamount to bailing out an industry, when it's failed. Commercial real estate industry, you're no longer in demand. Period. Shift your business to focus on something different. Either create more value in the properties you have for the people that are going to the office, or use that commercial property for housing or something else, or repurpose it. Like, there is no reason for people to go in the office anymore, and us going in just to support some real estate magnate, there's several around here that I see where one commercial real estate company owns all the properties, all the malls, everything goes in. It's like they have an amazing real estate portfolio. I don't have a lot of sympathy for them for not getting rent right now. They need to pivot. They need to sell off their properties, think of something else that to use as their business plan, because that one doesn't work anymore. And if they're going to hold on to it, they deserve to go out of business. They deserve bankruptcy if you're going to hold on to a business model that's no longer working. It's not my fault. It's not my responsibility to help bail you out by going into the office. So, when I hear arguments like that, well, our economy will never recover because the commercial real estate industry is depending on us going to the office. Dude, there's a lot of things about my life nobody's bailed me out on because I made a bad decision. Like, things change, economy changes, the world changed. All of us are having to change all the time. You need to change too, commercial real estate industry. You need to figure out a business model that works for you. All right. Well, again, Merry Christmas. Thanks for tuning into my car rant. And hope you guys are having a good weekend. Bye.